Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I want to congratulate Secretary Kerry on your appointment and also join my colleagues in expressing my condolences.
Thank you.
I look forward to working with you and especially working with the committed women and men at the State Department. And I have to tell you that I have really enjoyed working directly with the State Department, and I'm honored to have an excellent Pearson Fellow in my office who I am looking forward to continuing to work with me. As the ranking member of the Africa Subcommittee, I wanted to share with you several priority issues that I hope you'll consider. First of all, U.S.-Africa trade relations. Number two, the importance of development assistance programs, including global HIV/AIDS funding through PEPFAR. And number three, support for peacekeeping operations. As you know, the UN is considering establishing a peacekeeping force in Mali, and there's already a substantial peacekeeping mission in the DRC. I know you're aware that 6 of the 10 fastest growing economies in the world are located in sub-Saharan Africa. And it is my hope, to the extent possible, that the State Department will prioritize trade with the African nations. You should know that we have a bipartisan, bicameral effort working in conjunction with Chairman Smith to quickly put forward a renewal of the Africa Growth and Opportunity Act. So I have 4 questions I'd like to ask you. I wanted to know what steps are you taking to focus on Africa's extraordinary growth potential? What are your thoughts about the U.S. appointing a special envoy to the DRC? Does the request for peacekeeping operations accurately reflect the growing needs on the continent? And can you comment on the significance of the 6% cut to USAID HIV/AIDS funding?
Thank you very much, Congresswoman. Let me emphasize, first of all, that we were really pleased that PEPFAR was able to be held whole. I think that's vital. I have personally visited. I was in Durban, north of Durban, in the mountains, watching how that program is being effectively administered and the difference it has made. We are looking at, as Secretary Clinton said when she testified, we have the potential to have an AIDS-free generation as a result of what we have done. And we should be very, very proud of that. That will continue completely. With respect to the DRC, the answer is yes. We're going to appoint a Great Lakes special envoy in short order. I think you'll be very pleased with the President's choice. That is also caught up in the vetting process right now.
Okay.
But I'm very anxious to do that because I believe that without a great deal of input, one could deal with M23 and encourage Rwanda to perhaps take a different approach, help President Kabila to be able to deliver better governance. There's a lot that we can do, but we've got to be able to be there and be engaged. And to that end, in answer to your question, is the level of funding sufficient? I'll tell you no. I mean, the answer is it's what we can ask for under the budget constraints we're living with. But I don't think anybody should kid themselves that we are stepping up to do what is possible and what is perhaps morally critical with respect to developing an indigenous African capacity to respond through the AU or otherwise to some of these crises. And as you know, we have a number of UN efforts there now. They're just not yet sufficient to be able to do the job. So we have some development work to do in that, and it would be such a return on investment because a lot of this violence is thuggism.
Right.
It's just criminals who run around and are unleashed, and if we had the ability to be able to provide some order, I think we could do a lot more for economic development and peace.
Absolutely. And Mr. Secretary, before I finish, I really think that we need to just change our perspective and how we view the continent. With some of the world's fastest growing economies on the continent, I would like for you to address the significance or the priority that the State Department would put on.
6 of the 10 or 12 fastest growing countries in the world are in Africa. And I want to say to our colleagues here, we all are concerned about our economic future. China is investing more in Africa than we are.
Right.
And we need to, it doesn't have to be, a zero-sum game, but we ought to recognize where our future economic interests and capacity may lie. And I think that's why these investments are so small against the return on investment in the long run. And Africa, we need to be deeply engaged in and intend to be. The President will travel there, and we have a lot to do.
Thank you.
We'll go to